This is my single serve chocolate brownie. It's gooey, it's decadent, it is completely delicious, and the best part is, it is all for me. My favourite ever dessert is an apple crumble, but if I'm not having an apple crumble, I'm probably going to have a chocolate brownie. I will say that unlike crumbles, not all brownies are good. However, this is my one pot, one portion, single serve brownie, and I can guarantee it is the perfect one. There are actually two ways that you can make this brownie. You can either bake it in a small little dish, slightly flatter, which will give you a chewier, fudgier result, or you can bake it in a small round casserole pot, which is what I prefer to do. And you underbake it ever so slightly so the result is chocolate fondant-esque. When it comes to the chocolate, you can kind of choose your preferences. You can go slightly darker and richer, or you can go a bit lighter and a lower percentage of cocoa. I switch it up depending on my mood, but that's the joy of cooking for one. I can choose. There are two ways you can make this. Either in a more shallow dish to create a fudgier brownie, or in a dish like this to create more of a chocolate fondant effect. I'm gonna go for this today because I fancy something a little bit saucy. One of my top tips when cooking for one in one pot is to weigh everything directly onto your scales. And then you don't have to faff around weighing things into other bowls. You can weigh it all in here. We start by breaking in our chocolate. Today I'm using a 70% cocoa because I want a little bit of richness, but you can kind of use anything you want. Milk chocolate, dark chocolate, the choice is yours. We're just gonna break it up and pop it in the pot. 4 grams too much. Perfect. Then we're adding our butter. And then you just wanna pop this into your preheated oven just to melt it down together. This is the recipe in the book. You can see I did it in a shallower dish. So you get a little gooey center, but it's mostly fudgy. Gorge. There are actually 20 sweet recipes in my cookbook, all single serve. There's something for the chocolate lovers, there's fruity ones, we've got cheesecake, bread and butter pudding, self-saucing sticky toffee pudding. Ugh, look at that chocolate pot. She's glowing, she's gorgeous. Something for everyone. But brownies today. Okay, so the butter and chocolate is melted enough that when I stir it together, it will all melt. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. It'll look like it's not going to emulsify together, but it will. Have faith, trust in the process, trust in the brownie. She never does us wrong. Just keep whisking until you have a smooth and glossy chocolate. This is what you're looking for. Then you want to add 45 grams of caster sugar, or superfine sugar if you're in the US. Next up, 25 grams of plain flour, not self-raising because we want that slightly fudgy consistency. And if you add a raising agent, you'll get a more cakey consistency. Then you want to add cocoa powder. You want to use a good quality one, just to bring an extra richness to the chocolate flavour. We only need 10 grams because we've already added the dark chocolate. Stir that all together, and whilst it mixes, it's also going to cool down the mixture, which is good because after this we're adding an egg white. And if the mixture's too hot, the egg white could cook and curdle, and we definitely don't want that. So we're going to crack in our egg white. You can do this in a separate bowl if you don't feel super confident separating the yolk from the white. But I've cracked many an egg in my time, so I'm just going to do it straight into the brownie. You just want to pour the yolk from shell to shell, and the white will drop in. And I know it can seem annoying to have a leftover egg yolk, but there are a couple of things you can do with this. You can either add it to your leftover breakfast scramble for extra richness, or I think it's the perfect excuse to make a carbonara, or a carbonara risotto, recipe in my book. I feel like you can tell from the consistency this is going to be a really good brownie. The final thing we're going to add is just a pinch of salt, which balances out the chocolate so nicely, and I think is kind of essential when you're making any chocolatey dessert. You season your savoury food, so why not season your sweet food too? Now we're going to put this gorgeous little pot of indulgence into the oven for 10 to 25 minutes. It kind of depends on the result you want from your brownie. More time is fudgier, less time is gooier. And I feel like that's the joy of cooking for one. It's your brownie, it's your decision, okay? She's ready. You see how it's still got a slight jiggle in the middle? That's what we want. That's what we're looking for with a gooey brownie. Oh my Lord. Sorry, is that not the best dessert you've ever seen? You've got a beautifully gooey middle, slightly crisp top, and hopefully fudgy edges. Oh my God. Just one more sprinkle of flaky salt. The extra salt is perfect. Sorry, not to toot my own trumpet, but toot toot.